Hey everybody, this is Checklist. I'm a home cook and I'm here to check off recipes you want to try and telling you if it's worth a shot or not. Since it's a pandemic, we're opening with pantry recipes. Can I make good food with the stuff that I already have, or am I better off getting takeout? Let's find out. Today we're gonna make Joshua Weissman's Levain chocolate chip cookie. For this recipe, I'll need cake flour, all-purpose flour, kosher salt, cornstarch, baking soda, unsalted butter, brown sugar, white sugar, eggs, walnuts, chocolate, and I'm done. Now, I don't have all the ingredients. Actually, the only thing I don't have is the chocolate chip. The walnuts I can't because I have a peanut allergy. Let's begin. They say baking is an exact science and that you compromise it when you split the recipe. Well, I have no choice. It's a pantry recipe and I only have half the chocolate requirement and we want enough chocolate in our cookies. First, we need cake flour. Now, who has cake flour sitting in their pantry? Not a lot of people. Well, not me. But for sure, you've at least got all-purpose flour. Good thing is, you can sub all-purpose flour for cake flour if you deduct 2 tablespoons per cup of all-purpose flour and replace it with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Sounds easy, but what if you need less than a cup or more than a cup of flour? How many tablespoons or teaspoons of cornstarch do you need? It's math and flour. You can already see me struggling. I needed 115 grams of cake flour and 1 cup is 80 grams. So I just got 115 grams of all-purpose flour, took out 2 tablespoons, and put in 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. I have no idea if that's right. So we're using the 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour that I took out and filling up the bowl until I reach 137.5 grams of all-purpose flour. I don't know what's happening here, but I'm pretty sure I made a mistake. Putting back flour back into a plastic container is There's no going back now. So mix your cake flour with your all-purpose flour, and this is now the point of no return. You won't be able to know what is what, and you just have to move on. Next up, 2.5 grams of kosher salt. In my case, Korean flavored salt. Might make a difference. Now, measuring on a digital scale is very tricky. 1 or 2 grams is a small difference. You can see me making a mistake here, second time, third time, and fourth time. So don't splash the ingredients on the bowl so that you can take it out if you need to. Next up, we add 4 grams of cornstarch, and now you see me being super careful. And then we add 3 grams of baking soda. Now that's it for our white powder mix, and now we add 142.5 grams of brown sugar and 57.5 grams of white sugar. Let's move on to the wet ingredients. You need 140 grams of melted butter. Now that means solid 140 grams of butter that you melt, not 140 grams of liquid butter. Right? Tell me if I messed that up. Originally, the recipe called for 2 eggs and 3 egg yolks. I can split 2 eggs, but splitting 3 egg yolks, I just decided to do 2 egg yolks. Now this will further show you that I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm pressing the egg instead of cracking it. Look at that mess. What am I trying to salvage? Ay nako. So they say that an added yolk makes it fudgier. So in my case, I don't mind that. Say hello to my shorts because it is sweating in this kitchen. By the way, always make sure to clean your kitchen and your working area after every task if you can. It's tedious, but it really makes a difference. Today we're using leftover Ghirardelli chocolate. There's only like a fourth of it left, so that's what I'm using. Now, I'm the type of person who likes to tweak my recipes. I use a lot of substitutions because I don't want to always have to get the exact same thing. Plus, especially in the pandemic now, oh my gosh, the baking section is completely ubos. It's just gone. Another big factor is price. I'm the kind of cook or baker that wants to spend as little as possible on the ingredients because one, I might fuck it up. And so I don't want to waste that. Now, in this case, I know it's Ghirardelli, but it is leftover gift chocolate. So what did I spend here? And I just want to prove that maybe we can use Twix or Goya or 7-Eleven chocolate or Hershey's white chocolate. as a chocolate chip substitute. I mean, of course it's gonna be different, but it might be enough. Disclaimer, I'm not sick. Now chop your chocolate however you like. I like mine with big chunks because I want it gooey. Now it's time to mix. So add all the sugar to your mixing bowl and then add the butter slowly. If you have the wire attachment, please use that. And if you just have a hand mixer or you just want to stir it yourself, you can also do that. Now this thing I'm doing is a little stupid maybe, but I don't have enough ingredients for the wire whisk to touch the bottom of the bowl. So I just lifted it up and started mixing it myself, which I realize now I could have just hand mixed myself. Now you should add the yolks slowly, one at a time, I think, to incorporate it properly and for it not to separate. Once it's all mixed together like this, then you can proceed to add all of the dry ingredients. Now, if you have a paddle attachment, make sure you switch to it, not like what I'm doing. Better to even like hand mix it instead of using a wire whisk, and later I'll tell you why. Now this is your choice, but I chose to add a dash of vanilla and a dash of cinnamon, which I don't think would hurt. Now this point is where I'm going to make a mistake. I should have used the paddle attachment because when you add the chocolate, you have your big chunks. Now because it's the wire whisk, it started to dissolve my chocolate and even turned it into smaller chunks. So I lost my chunky chunks, and I mean, don't do that. I'm super sweaty, and that's because we're in the Philippines and it's summer. And now I've transferred it to a bowl and I'm gonna leave it there for 45 minutes. Wow, that's disgusting. The longer it's in the chiller, the taller your cookie's gonna be. So make sure you preheat your oven to 220 degrees Celsius because you're gonna cook it for 10 to 13 minutes. That is the paddle attachment. If you don't know what it is, don't overmix your dough. I used caramel with my chocolate, so my dough is now super sticky. So I don't know if it's gonna come out right. Let's see. For the honest test, I know it's still pretty hot. Actually not anymore. But I can take a bite and see if this is a mistake and if it was worth a shot or not. Not so bad. It is worth a shot, for sure. Better than most cookies that I can even buy. I think that's because I like it that it's a little gooey. It's like cookie dough, and it's caramel. It's actually very caramel chocolate. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's really good. Honestly, I want to eat more, but I need cold milk. Now that I've had a bit of time to enjoy it, it's a very crumbly but like stable exterior, and it does like melt in your mouth. It's perfect with milk. It reminds me of cookies from Boro. It's the same texture, which is why I started looking for a cup of milk. I actually made a mistake. I was not supposed to add like flaky salt on top. I just did it out of, I guess, like I'm cross-referencing recipes in my head. So I added like a bit of cinnamon, a bit of vanilla, or like flaky salt, which I know is totally not a Lebanon cookie anymore. So it also added like a pop of flavor. A pop. I really like it. This was worth a shot. Not bad for my first one. Now I hope this encourages you to bake your own cookie with some leftover chocolate or any chocolate you want. You might just be surprised with the results. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, or subscribe for more. Pretty please? I only have about maybe 10 plus subscribers right now, and it would really help a lot. Stay safe!